2 pink lines. That's all it takes to change everything. I stared at that pregnancy test for so long that Tuesday morning, I was almost late for my 8 a.m. meeting with the VP of Operations, the meeting where I was supposed to pitch myself for the promotion I'd been working toward for 3 years. Instead, I stood in my bathroom, holding a stick I'd just peed on, thinking, how am I supposed to tell them I'm pregnant when I haven't even told them I deserve to be promoted? Spoiler alert, I didn't tell them. Not that day. Not for weeks. My name is Sarah Chen. I'm 32 years old, senior project manager at a mid-sized tech consulting firm in Seattle, and this is the story of how pregnancy nearly cost me my career and how I fought back. This is 9 to 5 plus 1. Part 1. The first trimester. Before we start, let me ask you something. Have you ever had to hide who you really are at work? Have you ever felt like showing one part of your life would cost you everything you've worked for? That's what early pregnancy at work feels like. You're growing a human being. Your body is doing something miraculous and exhausting and terrifying all at once, and you have to pretend like nothing's happening, because if they know, everything changes. Let me show you what I mean. Week 1 of knowing, I went to that 8 a.m. meeting. I walked into the conference room, smiled at Patricia, my boss, and delivered my pitch. 3 years of performance metrics, 5 major clients I'd brought in, 2 junior team members I'd mentored, a 23% increase in project success rates under my leadership. I was flawless, confident, professional. Patricia nodded, said, "Thank you, Sarah. We'll be making decisions next month." And that was it. What she didn't know, I'd thrown up twice that morning before leaving the house. I had saltine crackers hidden in my blazer pocket, and I was trying desperately not to think about the fact that next month would be right around the time I'd have to tell her I was pregnant. Let me paint you a picture of weeks 4 through 6. Imagine the worst hangover of your life. Now imagine having that hangover while sitting in back-to-back meetings pretending to be completely fine, while someone 2 seats away is drinking coffee that smells like it was brewed in hell. That was my life. Derek. His name was Derek, and his coffee, which I used to love, by the way, suddenly smelled like a crime scene. I'm in the middle of presenting our Q3 projections. PowerPoint is up on the screen, 7 people are watching me, and Derek walks in late with his giant mug of death coffee. The smell hit me like a physical force. I actually stopped mid-sentence, just stopped talking. Everyone's looking at me, waiting. "Sorry," I said, smiling like my life depended on it, lost my train of thought. I powered through, but inside, I was counting the seconds until I could run to the bathroom. Here's what nobody tells you about early pregnancy at work. You're sick, but you can't tell anyone you're sick. You're exhausted, but you can't tell anyone why. You're terrified something might go wrong, but you have to act like everything's normal. Normal, that word became my enemy. Week 6, I started keeping crackers in my desk drawer. The blandest, most boring saltines you can imagine. I'd eat them during video calls with my camera off, praying nobody could hear the crunching. I became an expert at strategic bathroom placement. Always know where the nearest restroom is, always have an exit strategy, always keep ginger candies in your pocket. I was running a covert operation inside my own body. Week 7, Jennifer cornered me. Jennifer had been with the company for 12 years. She had 2 kids, and she had that knowing look when she asked, "Sarah, are you okay? You've been to the bathroom 4 times in the last hour." My heart stopped. She knew. I could see it in her eyes. She knew. "Oh, you know," I said, going for casual and probably landing somewhere near manic. "Just drinking a lot of water, trying to stay hydrated. Health kick." She looked at me for a long moment. Then she smiled, this small, understanding smile, and said, "Well, good for you." She didn't push, she didn't ask questions, but she knew. That night, I cried. Not because Jennifer knew. Honestly, that was almost a relief. but because I realized how absolutely exhausting it was to hide. I was hiding my body, hiding my symptoms, hiding my fear, hiding my joy. Marcus, my husband, found me on the bathroom floor, just sitting there. "What's wrong?" he asked, kneeling beside me. "I can't do this for 7 more weeks. I can't keep pretending. I'm so tired." "So tell them." "I can't. Not until 12 weeks. What if something goes wrong? What if—" "Sarah," he took my hands, "what if everything goes right?" I wanted to believe him, but all I could think about was Patricia's face when I'd pitched myself for the promotion, the way she'd looked at me, assessing, calculating. If I told her I was pregnant now, would I still be in the running? Or would I become Sarah, the pregnant woman who's about to leave for 3 months? Week 8, the nausea got worse. I'm not talking about morning sickness. That's the biggest lie ever sold to pregnant women. It should be called all day, every day, might strike at any moment sickness. I was in a client presentation, a huge one, potential $2 million contract, and I felt it rising, that unmistakable feeling. I was going to be sick, right there, in the conference room, in front of the clients. I excused myself, calmly, professionally, walked, did not run, to the bathroom, and made it, barely. When I came back 10 minutes later, my face carefully wiped, breath mint dissolving on my tongue, Patricia looked at me with concern. "Sarah, are you all right? You look pale." "I'm fine. Must have been something I ate. Where were we?" I finished that presentation, we got the client, and I went home and slept for 14 hours straight. Week 9, the promotion decision came down. Patricia called me into her office. "Sarah, I wanted to talk to you about the senior director position." This was it. 3 years of work, 3 years of proving myself. "We've decided to go in a different direction. Tom has more seniority, and we felt—" Tom, who'd been with the company 6 months longer than me. Tom, who'd never brought in a major client on his own. Tom, who definitely wasn't pregnant. We felt he was the better fit at this time. At this time. "I appreciate you letting me know," I said, professional, calm, even though I wanted to scream. "There'll be other opportunities. You're still a valued member of the team." Valued. Right. I didn't cry in her office. I held it together until I got to my car. And then I absolutely lost it. Because I knew, deep in my gut, I knew. If I'd gotten that promotion, told them about the pregnancy afterward, I would have been protected. I would have been the senior director who happened to be pregnant. But now I was just Sarah, senior project manager, pregnant, probably going to be viewed as less committed, less available, less everything. I called Marcus. I didn't get it. "I'm sorry, but hey, you've got something else pretty amazing happening." "Don't," I said. "Please don't tell me the baby matters. I know the baby matters, but my career matters too. I'm allowed to be upset about both things at once." Silence. Then, "You're right. I'm sorry. Do you want me to come get you?" "No, I'm okay. I needed to tell someone." "I'm here. Always." Week 10. Something happened that changed everything. I was working late, again, because even though I didn't get the promotion, I still had to prove myself, right? Still had to show them I was committed. I was alone in the office, trying to finish a proposal due the next morning, when I felt it. Sharp pain, low in my abdomen, lasting too long. My hands froze over the keyboard. Another pain, sharper this time. I grabbed my phone, Googled "sharp pain, pregnancy 10 weeks", got 1,000 results, half saying it was normal, half saying go to the ER immediately. I called Marcus. He picked up on the first ring. "Sarah, what's wrong?" "I don't know. I'm having pains and I don't know if this is normal or—" "Sarah, I'm coming to get you. We're going to the hospital." "But the proposal—" "Sarah," his voice was firm, scared. "The proposal doesn't matter. You matter. The baby matters. I'm leaving now. The ER waiting room at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday. Fluorescent lights, the smell of antiseptic, CNN playing silently on a TV nobody was watching. I sat there, Marcus holding my hand, terrified. What if something was wrong? What if I was losing the baby? What if I'd worked too hard, stressed too much, plooshed too far? What if this was my fault? 3 hours later, a doctor told me the baby was fine. Textbook healthy, she said. What you experienced was round ligament pain, completely normal, though it can be intense. The sharp pains should subside. Relief flooded through me. The baby was okay. Then the doctor looked at me more seriously. But I need to ask, how much are you working? Normal amount? 40, 50 hours a week? 50 hours. Are you on your feet a lot? Stressed? I thought about the proposal, about not getting the promotion, about hiding my pregnancy, about Derek's damn coffee. Yeah, I admitted. I guess I'm pretty stressed. You need to take care of yourself, she said. Stress isn't good for you or the baby. I know that's easier said than done, but try to scale back where you can. Scale back. Right, with a proposal due tomorrow and a promotion I didn't get to make up for. Marcus drove me home in silence. When we got inside, he finally said what he'd been holding back. You have to tell them. I know. No, I mean you have to tell them soon, before something worse happens. This was a warning, Sarah. He was right. I knew he was right. Week 11. I sent Patricia an email asking for a meeting. I'd like to discuss something personal, was all I said. She replied within minutes. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. I barely slept that night, practiced what I'd say, how I'd say it, trying to sound confident, happy but not too happy, professional, like this wouldn't change anything, even though we both knew it would. Week 12. The safe zone, the magic number when you're supposed to tell people because the risk of miscarriage drops significantly. I sat across from Patricia in her office. She'd closed the door, which she never did unless something was serious. What did you want to discuss? She asked. I'd practiced this. I had my speech ready. But what came out was, I'm pregnant. Just like that. Blunt, no preamble. She blinked. Once, twice, then her face rearranged itself into something that might have been a smile. Congratulations, she said. Same tone she'd used to acknowledge a quarterly report. Flat. Measured. Thank you. I'm due in late June. I wanted to let you know so we could start planning. How long will you be taking off? Not, how are you feeling? Not, is everything okay? Just, how long will you be gone? I'm planning to take 12 weeks of parental leave, I said. The company policy. 12 weeks. She wrote something down. That's right in the middle of the Jensen project launch. The Jensen project. My project. The one I'd been leading since the beginning. I'm aware, I said, keeping my voice steady. I'm already working on a transition plan. I'll have everything documented and I can help train whoever takes over. Tom can take it over, she said, as if she'd already decided this, as if she'd been thinking about it before I even told her. Tom. Again. I'm confident we can make it work, because what else could I say? The meeting lasted 15 minutes. She asked when I'd tell the team. I said next week. She asked if I needed any accommodations. I said not yet, but I'd let her know. She said congratulations again as I left. It sounded even less sincere the second time. I went back to my desk, sent Marcus a text. Done. She knows. Him. How'd she take it? Me. About as well as expected. Him. Which means me. She immediately gave my project to Tom. Him. I'm sorry. Me. Me too. Here's what nobody tells you about announcing your pregnancy at work. Everything changes immediately. Some people were genuinely happy for me. Jennifer hugged me. A few other colleagues congratulated me, asked questions, shared their own pregnancy stories. But then there was everyone else. The people who suddenly started treating me like I was made of glass, like I might shatter at any moment. Brad started opening doors for me. Brad, who'd worked 3 feet away from me for 2 years and never once opened a door for anyone. I got it, Brad. No, let me. Brad, I'm pregnant, not injured. I just thought you should take it easy. I can open a door. But it wasn't just Brad. People started offering me their seats in meetings, asking if I needed water, looking concerned when I carried my laptop bag. I wasn't even showing yet. I was 12 weeks pregnant. I looked exactly the same as I had 2 weeks ago. But now they knew, and now I was different. Then there was Tom. Tom had a different approach. He started excluding me from meetings. Not obviously, not in a way I could prove, but suddenly I wasn't invited to the Jensen project status updates, wasn't CC'd on important emails. When I confronted him, he said, "Oh, I just figured you'd want to take it easy, didn't want to overload you before your leave." Take it easy. Like pregnancy had somehow lobotomized me, like I'd suddenly forgotten how to do my job. Tom, I'm pregnant, not incompetent. I need to be in those meetings if I'm going to do a proper transition. Sure, I'll add you back to the invite. He didn't. Week 14, I started showing. Not much, but enough that my pants didn't button anymore. I bought a Bella Band, this elastic thing that covers the gap when your pants don't fit but maternity clothes are still too big. I was living in that weird in-between stage where nothing fit right and everything was uncomfortable. And people noticed. "Oh my God, you're showing. Look at that little bump. You're so cute, pregnant." Cute. I was 32 years old, a senior project manager with 7 years of experience, and suddenly I was cute. Week 16, a client, an actual client, said on a video call, "Sarah, should you really be working this hard in your condition?" My condition. Like I had a disease, like pregnancy was something that made me incapable of doing my job. I smiled, professionally, and said, "I appreciate your concern, but I'm perfectly healthy and fully capable of managing this project. Now, about those deliverables." I redirected, stayed professional, finished the call. Then I went to the bathroom and cried angry tears. Because how dare he? How dare he question my capability based on the fact that my body was doing something incredible? But you know what the worst part was? The thing that really got to me? I started questioning myself, too. Late at night, lying in bed, I'd think, what if they're right? What if I can't do this? What if having a baby means I can't be good at my job anymore? Marcus would tell me I was ridiculous, that I was still the same person, still just as capable. But the doubt was there. They'd planted it, and it was growing. Month 4, performance review time. I'd had a stellar year, brought in 3 major clients, mentored 2 junior team members, led our most successful product launch. My numbers were 15% above target. I walked into Patricia's office confident, prepared, ready to discuss next year's goals, even though the fact that I'd be on leave for part of it. She handed me my review. Meets expectations. I stared at the words, read them again. Surely I was misunderstanding. Meets expectations? I repeated. Patricia, I exceeded every metric. Your performance this year was fine, Sarah, but I have to think about trajectory. With you going on leave, I can't in good faith rate you as exceeds expectations when you won't be here for a significant portion of next year. Time stopped. So I'm being penalized for taking legally protected parental leave? I didn't say penalized. That's exactly what you said. You're lowering my rating because I'm going to have a baby. I'm being realistic about your trajectory. My trajectory was fine before I told you I was pregnant. Before that, you thought I was ready for a promotion. Now, suddenly, I just meet expectations? Patricia's face hardened. Sarah, I think you're being overly emotional. Don't you dare. My voice was shaking. Don't you dare tell me I'm being emotional. I'm being rational. You're discriminating against me because I'm pregnant, and you're using corporate language to pretend you're not. I left her office before I said something I couldn't take back. I went to my car. I didn't even make it all the way home before I had to pull over because I couldn't see through the tears. I called Marcus, could barely get the words out. They gave me meets expectations because I'm pregnant. What? I explained everything. The review, Patricia's reasoning, the trajectory bullshit. That's illegal, Marcus said. That's pregnancy discrimination. But how do I prove it? She'll say it was legitimate. She'll say, Sarah, listen to me. You did everything right. You worked your ass off. You exceeded every goal. And they're treating you like you're suddenly worthless because you're having a baby. That's not okay. That's not legal. And that's not your fault. He was right. Logically, I knew he was right. But it didn't stop me from feeling like I'd failed, like I should have worked harder, should have hidden it better, should have somehow been able to be pregnant without actually being pregnant. That night, I made a promise to myself. I was going to document everything. Every conversation, every email, every instance of being treated differently. Because this wasn't over. Month 5. I was really showing now. No hiding it, no Bella band that could conceal it. And the comments got worse. Wow, you're huge. Are you sure there's only one in there? You're so small. Are you eating enough? My sister was that big at 5 months and she went into early labor. Everyone had an opinion about my body, my size, my health, my baby. Strangers in the elevator would touch my stomach without asking. Touch my stomach. I started wearing a shirt that said, "Please don't touch," with an arrow pointing to my belly. It didn't help. Week 22. The Jensen project was falling apart. Our lead developer quit, just walked out, said he got a better offer. Tom was scrambling, the project was behind schedule, the client was getting nervous, and suddenly I was invited back to the meetings. Sarah, we could really use your expertise on this. I thought you didn't want to overload me, I said sweetly. Tom had the decency to look embarrassed. Look, I know you said you didn't want to overload me. You excluded me for 2 months, and now that things are going badly, you want my help? We're a team. Teams communicate. Teams don't exclude people and then come crawling back when they need something. But I helped anyway, because that's what you do, right? You're a team player. You step up. And also because I knew if this project failed after I'd been excluded, they'd somehow still blame me. So I stayed late. I worked weekends. I did everything I could to save the project, while 5 months pregnant, while exhausted, while everyone around me acted like my pregnancy was simultaneously an excuse to exclude me and not an excuse for me to set any boundaries. Week 26. I was in a meeting when I felt it. Tightness. My belly went hard as a rock, cramping that took my breath away. I tried to breathe through it, tried to focus on what Tom was saying about the project timeline. Another one. Stronger this time. Excuse me, I said, standing up carefully. I need to step out for a moment. I made it to the bathroom, called my OB. How far apart are the contractions? She asked. I don't know, 2, 3 minutes? Come in, immediately. Marcus met me at the doctor's office. They hooked me up to monitors, checked the baby's heartbeat, strong, steady, perfect. Braxton Hicks contractions, the doctor said, but severe ones. Your body's under too much stress. She looked at me, really looked at me. What do you do for work? I'm a project manager. I lead a team, manage client relationships, oversee multiple projects. How many hours are you working? I hesitated. 50? 60? At 26 weeks pregnant, you're working 60 hours a week? Put like that, it sounded insane. I have to. We're in the middle of a major project and... Sarah, she was gentle but firm, you need to scale back, significantly. I'm not suggesting, I'm telling you. Your blood pressure is elevated. You're showing signs of extreme stress. If you don't take care of yourself, you could end up on bed rest or worse. I called Patricia from the parking lot. I need to reduce my hours. Doctor's orders. Silence. Long, heavy silence. Sarah, we're in the middle of the Jensen project. I know, I'll still work, but I can't do 60-hour weeks anymore. I have to take care of my health. I see. Her tone said everything. Disappointment, frustration, like I was choosing my baby over the company. And you know what? I was, and I was done apologizing for it. I'll send you the doctor's note. I can work 40 hours a week. That's full time. That's normal. Of course, we'll make it work. But I heard what she didn't say. You're letting us down. That night, I sat in the nursery, the room we'd just started putting together, and I made a promise. To myself, to my baby. I was done trying to be superhuman, done trying to prove that pregnancy didn't affect me, done apologizing for my body doing something miraculous. I was growing a human being. That took energy, that took rest, that took care. And anyone who couldn't understand that, that was their problem, not mine. Marcus found me there, sitting in the rocking chair in the dark. "What are you thinking?" he asked. "I'm thinking," I said, my hand on my belly, "that something has to change." "What do you mean?" "I don't know yet, but I can't keep doing this. I can't keep fighting to prove I deserve basic respect. I can't keep working for people who see my pregnancy as a liability instead of just a part of my life." He sat down beside me. "So what are you going to do?" The baby kicked, strong, insistent, like it was agreeing with me. "I don't know yet, but I'm going to figure it out." Month 6 ended with the Jensen project launching, successfully, on time, because of course it did, because I made sure it did. Patricia sent an email to the team. "Great work, everyone. Special thanks to Tom for his leadership on this project." Tom, not me, not the person who'd led it from the beginning, not the person who saved it when it was falling apart. Tom. I closed my laptop, looked at my growing belly, felt my daughter moving inside me, and I thought, this is only part 1. So that's part 1, the first 6 months of pregnancy, the part where I learned that no matter how hard you work, no matter how much you prove yourself, some people will always see your pregnancy as a problem to manage rather than a person growing. I learned that taking it easy is code for, we don't think you can handle your job anymore. I learned that legal protections don't mean much when discrimination wears a suit and uses corporate language. But I also learned something else. I learned that I was stronger than I thought, that I could advocate for myself even when I was scared, that I deserved better. And I learned that this story, it wasn't over. Because part 2, the part where I go back to work after having my baby, that's where things get really interesting. That's where I stop playing by their rules and start making my own. That's where I stop proving I can do it all and start building a life that actually works for me. But first, I had to have this baby. I had to become a mother. I had to learn what it meant to love someone so much that it changes everything about who you are and what you're willing to accept. I had to learn that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stop trying to fit into a system that was never built for you. And I had to learn that I wasn't alone. If you're listening to this and you're pregnant and working, or thinking about having kids while building a career, or trying to navigate a workplace that doesn't value you, you're not crazy. You're not too sensitive. You're not imagining it. It is hard. It is unfair, and you deserve better. This was 9 to 5 plus 1, part 1. Part 2 drops next week. Until then, take care of yourself, set boundaries, and remember, you don't owe anyone an apology for having a body that does amazing things. You don't owe anyone an explanation for wanting both a career and a family. And you definitely don't owe 60-hour weeks while growing a human being. See you in part 2.